What's up, YouTube? Lord Zath bringing you another episode of Zath's Replay Theater. I kind of felt like it's time for another carrier replay. We haven't had a carrier replay in a while. Unfortunately, so far, the only person that's sending me carrier replays is Anumati, so I'm just gonna have to feature him again. If you guys are getting tired of watching him seal club people in carriers, then please, send me a replay of a carrier, and I would be very, very delighted to share another one. Oh, that's not true. Actually, we had a Ryujo gameplay. That's right. It was in the scenario though. Oh, geez, and you can see there's some friendly banter, shall we call it, in the alt chat. And why? Because, well, both him and the enemy team are doing the same thing, and I'll share what I mean by that in a second here. I'm just going to get some quick screenshots to get it out of the way, because, I mean, honestly, what are you going to do with the carrier aside from getting screenshots of planes taking off, right? Okay, so anyway, can I... No, I can't. We are looking at the perspective now of Anumati, and take a look at the tiering. This is a tier 8 battle, so Anumati is mid-tier, and look at the enemy team. They are using a Saipan, a North Carolina, and a Kid. This is what we call hardcore seal clubbing, because essentially what they're doing is, by down-tiering the carrier, you are forcing the carrier to lock equal tier, right? The carrier has to be equal tier. And so it's a very intelligent way of playing tier 8, but ensuring that the highest you're going to go is tier 9. Okay? So that's what they're doing. And of course they have very strong anti-air builds because they're guaranteed that there's going to be an aircraft carrier. That's why I call it hardcore seal clubbing. And why the Saipan? Because the Saipan has tier 9 aircraft. So, remember I said the highest they can go is tier 9? So if they go into a tier 9 battle, it doesn't really hurt them that much. Now we see Anumati going for some early strafes to try to win this air war. And it looked like he derped on his first strike, and this is what I hate the most about carriers right now, if I can get on my soapbox again for a second. Because all you end up with is just nothing but strafe here, strafe there, strafe here, strafe there, strafe out, strafe in, strafe, 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 strafe. And to be honest, it's just boring. Because it rewards whoever can just click the fastest. And of course, if you have desync, if you have any bit of lag, it really just hurts. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but that Kid completely took down 1.66 repeating, essentially 1 and 2/3 of Anumati's torpedo bombers, and there was nothing Anumati could do about it because, again, Kid, stupid, phenomenal anti-air, especially if spec'd as such. Now, let's be honest, we also see that Anumati's division could be considered seal clubbing too, because, you know, he's really good, as we saw in one of his earlier videos, at torpedoing destroyers. And of course, destroyers are the #1 counter/threat for Pan-Asian destroyers, because the Pan-Asian destroyer torpedoes do not strike enemy destroyers. So, anyways, regardless of who's seal clubbing who, it's going to be interesting to see essentially who gets clubbed the most out of this experience. And you can see there that Anumati sensed the strafe, pulled his planes out, and he managed to get most of them out in time. It looks like he's going to try dropping on a Sims, and that Sims may very well have defensive fire. But at this point, he might as well drop anyways. Now, I didn't, he might hit. Yep! See what I just said about very good at hitting destroyers, even in the smoke. So let's talk about the Saipan and what's so freaking stupid about it. You noticed he just exited a dogfight and didn't lose a plane. There's a rule where if you exit a dogfight you lose a plane automatically. That's your punishment or penalty for exiting a dogfight. That rule does not apply to the Saipan. It applies to every other ship, every other carrier, but it does not apply to the Saipan. Oh god, that's just dirty. And that's painful watching a Kutuzov lose like that to a fusion. Or Fushun. I'm just going to call it the FU because it's fun. But anyway, getting back to the Saipan. So why is the Saipan so strong? Well, for one, it's got a pretty good reserve of planes on the bottom. Yeah, down here. Oh, I can do this. Good. The reason I'm clicking these is now there. Now we're watching him, and we've also selected the planes, so we can see all of his strafe maneuvers. Sorry, every time there's a new patch that comes out, the replay controls change a little bit. So anyway, getting on the subject, you see how he's got a lot of reserves, a decent amount. That's because they're the squadrons that go up are so small in size that even though he's only got 48 planes, he's able to basically keep planes up and out. So unlike most other carriers, it's very difficult for him to end up completely deplaned and spend like the rest, half of the battle sailing around with no aircraft. So it's kind of nice in that it's very newbie friendly. Now, let's talk about some drawbacks real quick of this carrier. It has no secondaries whatsoever, so if you get chased down by a destroyer, that's huge, because you can't really defend yourself. One time, I actually managed to ram an enemy Japanese destroyer that was trying to get me, and it was hilarious because he was trying to torp me, and he torped too late, and so I just kind of went up and boink. But you can do that very rarely. You can see here that Pulakat is not used defensive fire, but he's obviously anti-air build, and for some odd reason, Anumati is okay with sending out bombers like that. I think he's being a little on the aggressive side with his use of torpedo planes, and we'll have to see how that causes the ebb and the flow of the battle, how it impacts things. Pause right now. Oh, this is a bad place to pause. I'm trying to pause with the mini-map. Okay, let's take a look at this mini-map. I think it's important we kind of see what's happening here. The enemy is all balled up, right? So what that means is that for Anumati, he really can't get in here with his torpedo bombers. If he does, they're just going to get focused by 3, 4, 5, 6 ships in all their different anti-air fields. So what I would do, and I think what he's doing, is I would drop that Minsk up there and maybe also the Atago. Because they really can't do much about him. The Atago could have defensive fire, okay, but besides that, it's not going to do much to stop these tier 9 torpedo bombers. They're so darn fast. And the Minsk, of course, can just be dropped at will. We've already seen that Anumati's been able to do some good stuff against destroyers. Now, the Kutuzov down here we know is at low health and is probably going to die as soon as he starts opening up if he's not in smoke already. You can see that his SF3 buddies and Anumati's SF3 buddies are getting in position to torpedo down this, and you can see already there's torpedoes going through here. They're trying to hit the North Carolina, trying to get them on flood, which makes perfect sense there. The Nagato is moving north. If that Nagato goes north of the island, he will be focused by these two ships. I guarantee it. As a matter of fact, you kind of see them both, Pizza Pizza and Revenmug, both. Looks like they're getting in position to go after that Nagato. Very smart. That's exactly what I would do. Right now, even though they have the ship advantage, the Colorado here is very low. We know that Kutuzov is also very low. Not so sure about this. No, the Aoba is going to be okay probably, but this Belfast is definitely going to take 1 torp, maybe 2, so he's going to get low. You get what I'm getting at here, is that Anumati's team is definitely not safe. Okay, let's resume the battle. And can I just say, I love carriers in this game. I don't like the mechanics necessarily. I don't like, especially the strafe mechanic. I think that's just dumb. But I do like watching the planes interact on the battlefield, and I do like that it adds another dynamic. I really do hope that Wargaming does do something to change up how these carriers work, because I definitely don't think that it's in the best place now. Look at this Mayhan, or sorry, Minsk. He derped into an island, and we already know what's going to happen, right? Anumati is going to punish him hard. Now watch, now that I've selected the squadron, we should see the moment he drops exactly what his drop pattern will look like. Also take a look at the minimap and look at where Anumati is. He's definitely, look at that drop. Now what he's doing is he's expecting the Minsk to turn away, which the Minsk does, and he's going to drop him with that last torp. Boom! And he gets the flood, takes out the engine, and that's huge. Meanwhile, you can see that the enemy, who is that anyway? Panag, I don't know who that is, but he's trying to spot the Anumati's teammates, which makes perfect sense because they're the biggest threat to the Nagato, which somehow died. So I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Oh, Saipan gets that drop, and again, we already saw what the Minsk did last time, so he's expecting the same thing, which is turning away. Guys, if you want to save your life, and you want to live against torpedo drops like this, what you need to do is you need to turn into the bombers, not away from. Into. If you turn away from the rear, you saw what happened. The rear kicks out, and he slides into the torpedoes with the rear. If you turn in, the bow stays positioned and you pivot around the center point. And what that means is that the torpedo will miss you. It's a lot easier to miss. So always turn into torpedo bombers, never away from, okay? There's your tip for the day. You can see somehow Anumati lost his fighters. I'm guessing that other second fighter squadron came in and strafed and killed them all. But it doesn't matter, because I think the important thing is Anumati was able to get another ship off the map. The Colorado did what he could, right? The Colorado didn't do too much, but did what he could. Oh, the Kid. That's probably what got him, is the Kid used defensive fire. But the North Carolina is not exactly in the best of position either. He's just basically sitting there face tanking a whole bunch of fire from the Belfast and from the two Garaja Majas. This guy that just talked in chat, Bink. You see yeah, he was the Minsk, so he's a little upset that he got killed. But look at where he was. Now, what he's trying to do here, I think, is lure the fighters into the Belfast's anti-air to try to help him win the air war. It's not working, and you can see how he just decided to screw it, move his fighters. Look at the North Carolina's positioning. The North Carolina is up against the island, and he's doing that because he knows that in order to be susceptible to torpedo strikes, Anumati has to go all the way around and drop, which it looks like he might be trying to do. And there's Polacat doing, you know, the usual teamwork stuff, which is smoking up his buddy. What Anumati might be doing is lining up for just a dead-on torpedo strike. But he just lost a bunch of, because again, these guys are max anti-air, and that's so frustrating as a carrier player. You just watch your planes melt, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try to get them out, but it doesn't work. I would liken it to being in a cruiser or a battleship and just watching your turrets die, and not because of your angling or positioning. They just die, and you have no forewarning that it's coming. That's what's so frustrating about playing carrier. Anyway, you notice now that Anumati has completely lost the air war. This is really bad. The enemy carrier got an easy drop on that Belfast. There was nothing the Belfast could do. He put himself in a terrible position. He should have been working with that Gajah Maja and trying to, you know, basically smoke each other and live. This Bismarck just took a couple of torps. This is not looking good, and you can see that Anumati is going to now go for a quick and easy kill. But he's now detected, and he knows that that he's in trouble. What he's doing there is he's trying to drop his torpedoes early so he can get his planes back as quickly as possible, because he's pretty sure that the enemy carrier is just clicking and following. And ouch, strafed out there. And because he got spotted, the Atago is getting shots on him. This is not looking good. And the reason I'm saying this is not looking good is because he's got one, maybe two planes that he can send up, and that's it. Why? Because look at the damage control party cooldown now. He's invulnerable for quite some time. As you can see, the North Carolina and Kid are moving forward together. They're pushing together. And Anumati's only hope now is to drop this Atago, and he's gonna have to do it by himself while being chased by an enemy fighter. Now these fighters are fast, but the bombers are fast too. So I don't know if that was defensive fire or if that fighter managed to catch up, but we can see there the Polecat is hopefully going to go down. They killed each other. Nice. So you got some torp hits, but he's back on fire. It's going to take a long time before those planes come up, and the Atago is just going to get him, I think. Oh my god, he's completely out of planes now. And Anumati's obviously upset, but I kind of understand why. Looking like a lose right now. This is looking pretty bad. So what did Anumati do wrong? His positioning of his carrier was way off. As soon as the Atago was moving down here, he should have moved his carrier away. Now, you saw him hit the Z key there to go into his carrier view, because he wants to see what that carrier is going to, or what those torpedoes are doing. He wants to use that as a way to just kind of torpedo dodge. Now you can see that his team is decided to go full on into the cap, because look at this, the North Carolina in the cap died. So really, it's that Saipan, a Cleveland, and a Atago versus a couple of a tier 8 ship, a tier 7, and what is that thing? The Atago up there. The Atago looks like he's gonna go down. Alright, so Pieces of Pizza is smoking up with the Kid. The problem is they might lose vision here. So Pizza is doing the right thing, getting out. I don't know why he's shooting. He's drawing the fire, but he's trying to drop that Saipan, and the Saipan goes down. Now Pizza's putting up his smoke. Now, what's so special about these Pan-Asian destroyers is the smoke lasts for a moderate amount of time, but it can come back up pretty quick. Now the question is, what's this Atago going to do? Atago is using AP on the Cleveland. Nope. Oh, big hit. Wow. I guess the Atago got that hit. I don't know. But yeah, this was a good game. I definitely didn't expect this, especially seeing that salty stomp div there. But Anumati, I think, conjunction with teamwork, managed to pull it off. So I'm going to slow it down for a little bit, and let's talk about some misplays. Anumati's biggest, of course, was moving his carrier so aggressively when there was nothing down here to spot. If I were him, I would have probably parked the carrier over here, or maybe behind this island. I don't know. It's hard to say, because that Nagato moved up there too, and that would have threatened him quite a bit. But I think had he moved that carrier up there, it might have been enough to encourage Polecat and the North Carolina to disengage, the Kid in North Carolina, to come up and try to hit him. And, you know, use yourself as bait, essentially. But nice job identifying targets that could have been dropped and could have been hit and killed, which he did. You know, he lost the air war, but again, that was expected with the amount of anti-air builds that we saw out there. So, Anumati, thanks for sending this replay in. I appreciate it. I gotta say, your team did a wonderful job, and I could see why, you know, your division mates and you guys are obviously the Supremacy League champs, because you're seeing the ebb and flow of battle, and you're doing a nice job of reacting to it. So, the Gauja Manja has a slight torpedo advantage in terms of the ability to stealth torpedo, but it's not very long. So if this Satago charges, Pizza's going to have to run, and you can see that smoke is still on. So in about, the way it's ending, I'm saying about maybe 20-30 seconds, he'll be able to smoke up again. Plane going up, and you can see Pizza is maybe getting greedy here. Nope, he's not. He's turning away. He's just skirting the edge of concealment, of detectability. He's trying to wait for his ability to fire torpedoes. He knows that the Atago is going to charge the smoke at this point. The Atago is committed, right? There's the smoke. Now he can shoot for free without being spotted or detected. He knows that the Atago has most likely dropped his torps, and either his torpedoes are going to kill the Atago, or the team is going to kill the Atago. Either way, the Atago is probably done for, even though at that point you see the Atago turn out. Right there, the Atago's catapult fighters detected. The Atago doing a nice job of trying to do everything he can to win this game. Oh, nope, he didn't detect those torpedoes. He just, oh no, is he gonna dodge? Nope, he sped up! Why did you speed up? Oh my god! Wow, that was a huge misplay right there. Oh, guys, you know, it happens. As soon as you see that smoke from another destroyer, you gotta know torpedoes are coming. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and we're gonna watch him die, and game over. Take care, everybody.